Uncensored.
And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real option trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. That way you can read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator ready so we can do some easy math. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. All right, great. Happy Tuesday. Let's look at our open positions. We had our short call vertical on CCJ close this morning, so we'll go over that one in a second. Roku, we opened this at 69. We're completely flat. Mark is 70. Our short call spread on Micron, we opened this at 36. We're a little under, but that's okay. And our gold call, short call vertical with November expiration is rallying big today. We were negative like $120 just a couple weeks ago, and now we're plus 18. Trying to get to 25. This could happen today if gold keeps selling off, which I anticipate it will. But we'll check in with gold later in the show. Let's look at the CCJ position that filled. So this was a post-earnings play. I've never traded this one before, but it had everything we were looking for, so I went in with it. On the 31st, on Halloween, we sold post-earnings a short call vertical spread with strikes of 47 and 50. So we sold the 47 and bought the 50. So it moved against us for a couple days, came back to pretty much the spot where we opened it with time decay and with volatility decay as well. This thing closed and we made $18. I know $18 doesn't sound like a lot, but percentage-wise, if you take your calculator, do 18 divided by 300, that was a 6% return on your $300 that you could have potentially lost. So 6% return from Halloween to today, that's about a week. That's not bad. Don't forget, if you hold bonds all year long, right now it's about a 5% return for the whole year. The S&P returns about 7 to 9% for the entire year. We just made 6%. All right. Let's move on. Let's see what we can find new to open up. We only have 3 positions open now. That's awfully low for me. Look at Datadog first. DDOG. This is post earnings, up 28% today. Here's our chart. All right, let's look at the call side. We're December expiration still, okay? 38 days till December expiration. It's the only contract I'm trading. Got some liquidity here. The 115 is a little close. Let's do the math on both of them. If you sold the 115 and bought the 120, that's 179 minus 104 divided by 2 divided by 500. That's a 7.5% return. Not bad. What if we sold the 120 and bought the 125? Give us a little space. That's 105 minus 61 divided by 2 divided by 500. That's only a 4.4%. So where's 115 on the chart? $115's right about here. That seems fair. The only concern is if it keeps moving. This time post earnings, it gapped up and just kept moving on and on and on forever. That would have been a losing trade. We'll mark this one. We'll come back later today. Let's look at the put side as well. On the put side, if you sold the 87.5 and bought the 82.5, that's 103 minus 53, divide that by 2, divide that by 500, 5% on the nose. That's okay. It's not great. Let's move on. Uber is next. This is post earnings as well. Down, not down much. You can see The put side is red and the call side is red. So that's a post-earnings volatility crush. Let's look at both sides. At the call side, skip the call side. On the put side, same thing, skip the put side. There's nothing. Post earnings, this one's too hard. Didn't move far enough. Next, DHI, DH Horton. Up 3. Earnings were today. So this one rallied way. Let's see here. Okay, cool. This one rallied into earnings and then has gapped up and moved again up 3.5%. So that's a big move in a couple days. Let's look at the call side here. It's too illiquid, not enough volume. Close. This would have been a good one. Next, BMRN, Biomarin. This is up 12% right now. I don't think this is earnings. Earnings are February 29th, so we got plenty of time. Elliott Investment Management acquires over $1 billion stake. That's why they're up big. And earnings was a couple days ago, so great. Let's look at the call side here if there's anything. No. Look at the spread. It's $1 spread. Not enough liquidity, so we'll skip this one. Next, Planet Fitness. Post earnings, I believe. Put side is a no-go. Call side, a no-go as well. Close. Sorry about that. Next, APD. This is a chemical company, down 12% after earnings. And we'll have the same issue here. Not enough liquidity. On the put side, nothing. On the call side, nothing. Too illiquid. You need to sell the 280. Moving on. NEP. NextEra Energy. Same issue. Next. TMDX. Up 57% today. What have we got? Earnings were yesterday after the close. That's why they're up so big. Here's our chart. So we're post earnings. That's great. It's moved up a lot today. It's already bounced off the 200-day. On the call side, is it liquid enough? No. These spreads are too wide. Put side, same thing. These spreads are too wide. Very close, but no cigar. CE, next. Down 2%. Earnings were yesterday after the close. Not a big movement. Yeah, it's sell puts. That makes sense. On the put side, same thing, too illiquid. You need to sell the 105. Not going to get filled. BHP. Down 3% today. Earnings are February 19th, so we got plenty of time. Let's look at both sides. On the put side, you're not going to get paid on the put side. On the call side, you're not going to get paid either. Skip. Microsoft. We looked at this one for the past couple days, trying to open a call spread. Earnings were past earnings, not till January now. Getting close to an all-time high. $367 would be an all-time high. Let's look at the call side. If you sold the 385 and bought the 390, it's 150 minus 97 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.3%. I think you got paid better if you sold it yesterday. What about the put side? If you sold the 335 and bought the 330, that's 230 minus 177 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.3%. Evenly balanced on both the calls and the puts. There's no skew on this one. But if I had to, I'd sell the call side. Just going to wait a little bit more. EMR, Emerson is next. Earnings were today before the open. Looks like it's down 8%. It's already caught a little bit of a bounce. That makes sense. Let's look at the put side. Nothing. Very low volume. Next, IFF, International Flavors. Skip. Let's look at gold really quick before we move on to our next list. Chart on gold. As you can see, for the past 2 weeks, I've been barking about selling the call spreads. It may be too late now. If you sold the call side now, it'd be harder. If you sold the 189 and bought the 194, that's 98 minus 39 divided by 2 divided by 500. In the 5% range now, almost 6%, so not as good, and you've kind of missed the move, so we're going to hold on gold now. On the put side, I wouldn't sell the put side yet. You'd have to sell the 175 and buy the 170. You're just not going to get paid. 47 minus 15 divided by 2 divided by 500, 3.2%. Put side doesn't pay anything. All right, let's go to our IV rank scanner, and we'll sort by volume. SPY is definitely down. Let's look at the SPY really quick, because the call side looks very interesting now. So we had this big move up for the past week. It may get a small pullback. So if you sold the call side, December expiration, if you sold the 455 and bought the 460, that's 136 minus 69 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.7%. That's okay. I think it was paying 7.1 yesterday. 455 455 on the chart, way up here. That seems very fair. It may open this one. On the put side, if you sold the 417 and bought the 412, it's 236 minus 180 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.6%. That's worse, so it's better to sell the call side right now. You get paid more. We'll mark that down. Next, NVIDIA has earnings on the 21st, so we'll skip that. Snowflake has earnings on the 29th. That's up 12% today because of Datadog. The TLT, we skipped the TLT today. Let's take a look. Maybe it's time to sell the call side. Here's our chart. On the call side, if you sold the 93 and bought the 98, It's 57 minus 15 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.2%. Not good enough. Gotta be close to 5. Alright, next on the list. You see, we got a lot of less options on this list because we are post earnings for most stocks. So that's what really pumps the volatility up and makes the prices on the option contracts more expensive, which in turn means that we make more premium when we sell. Silver. Sirius is a $5 stock. The GLD is now 23% on IV rank, so it's lost a lot of that premium. It was in the 60s about a week ago, so we missed the move on that one. Rivian, skip. Rivian's earnings are today after the close, so we'll check in tomorrow morning with Rivian. Celsius, whose earnings were today. Let's take a look at that one. CELH. Up 3%. That's not that big. Yep, today before the open. No options. Okay, that's interesting. Next. Goodyear. It's a $12 stock. Oxy. Oxy has earnings today after the close, so we'll follow up tomorrow. USO. Let's take a look at the USO. I know oil's been down big today. Interesting. Okay, maybe we can do something on the put side here. If you sold the 64, sold the 64 and bought the 60. Now let's do sell the 64 and buy the 59. What does that pay? That's 68 minus 28 divided by 2 divided by 500. Only 4% if you sold the put side. On the call side, if you sold the 81 and bought the 86, that's 86 minus 40 divided by 2 divided by 500. A little bit better, 4.6%, but I don't want to sell the call side here. Let's take a look at XOP. On the put side for XOP, if you sold the 126 and bought the 121, that's 105 minus 55 divided by 2 divided by 500. 5% on the nose there. What about the XLE? If you sold the 78 and bought the 73, that's 58 minus 17 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4. So XOP is your best bet. So the 126, was it? 126 on the chart is right about here for December expiration. That seems fair. Keep XOP on the list. I'd rather do the SPY today than that. Okay, moving on. Next page. Devon Energy, DVN. up 3. Skip the call side. The put side, if you sold the 40 and bought the 35, that's 59 minus 13 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.6. Nope. Looks like they got earnings today after the close. We'll follow up tomorrow then. Disney has earnings later this week. Has earnings tomorrow after the close. JD, earnings. Upstart, today after the close. Earnings. Salesforce must have earnings. Zoom has earnings on the 20th. CrowdStrike on the 28th. Pfizer has the event. No on all of these. Zscaler. Let's check out Zscaler. May have earnings coming up. ZS. Up 5% today. Earnings are December 7th. We're exactly a month away. This is probably up in sympathy with Datadog. Let's look at the call side. Nah. If you sold, nah. Skip the call side. Nah, skip this one. Robinhood, Moderna. They have an event on the 8th. I think we looked at Moderna yesterday. All right, next page. A couple more, then we'll go back to the SPY. Palo Alto has earnings. Lee, we looked at Lee yesterday. Enphase, no thank you. Twilio has earnings 2 days. Lyft down 80%, whatever this is. Skip. Avago. Not a lot here. Lilly. Lilly is past earnings. Still moving. Let's take a look at Eli Lilly and Novo. Two days past earnings, but still has some volatility priced in. It's kind of in no man's land. So there's no... Let's see what pays more. On the put side, if you sold the $450 and bought the $430, it's a $1,000 spread. $470 minus $362 divided by 2 divided by 1,000. It's only 5%. Call side. Sell the $650 and buy the $660. That's $572 minus $430 divided by 2 divided by 1,000. That's 7.1% on the call side. $650. Not when you get to these more expensive stocks like $600 a share, it's a little bit less liquid, okay? Let's look at Novo. Coming close to an all-time high. On the call side, nothing. All right, a couple more, and then we'll call it. Kava has earnings today after the close. Walmart has earnings in about a week or so. All right, let's go back to Datadog and SPY. DDOG. We're looking at the call side. I think the 115 was what we looked at first. It's awfully close to sell the 115. Let me look at the 120, 125 one more time. That's 110 minus 64 divided by 2 divided by 500. Only 4.6%. It's liquid. That's nice. We'll keep Datadog on the list. We'll check in again tomorrow. Let's go to SPY and sell a call spread in SPY. SPY. It's moving up. For December expiration, we sold the 456 and bought the 461. What do you get? 130 minus 66 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.4%. $456, $461. $456 is way up here. That seems fair. I'm going to go ahead and open this one. All right. 456, 461. $456, $461. All right, let's fill out the ticket. We're going to sell one December expiration, the 456 call. We're going to buy one December expiration, 461 call. We'll go ahead and go with the ask of 65. This will be a limit credit just for today only. We'll go ahead and preview that. Double check the ticket. Sell one SPY, 456 call to open. Buy one 461 call to open. We'll receive a credit of $65. We'll go ahead and send that out. Got filled right away. I'm going to set a close order now. So the closing order, glad it got filled right away. So to close, we will buy, well, we'll do the opposite of what we just did, okay? So we'll buy one December 456 call and sell one December expiration 461 call. This will be a debit. And what did it get filled at? 65. So take 65 divided by 2, that'll be 32. So we'll set this at 32. And we'll set this as good till canceled as the duration, okay? So let's double check. Buy one to close and sell one to close. And we'll pay $32. So we'll make a total of $32 on that. We'll send that out. All right. So this is just going to chill out until it gets filled. And if it moves against us, we'll just keep rolling until things go in our favor. All right. Good day today. All right. We had our CCJ position fill. We made $18. Not bad on that one. We opened a new short call spread on the SPY. We'll keep an eye on that one over the next couple days and weeks. All right. If you enjoyed the CCJ trade and you want to say thank you, there's a Venmo link right above me. I appreciate it. Helps support me and helps support the channel. But really helps is tuning in every day and subscribing. We go live every day on the West Coast at 7:15 a.m., 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. Subscribe, you'll get alerts when we do go live. Also, tell your friends who are trading options to tune in as well. Subscribe. We can all trade options together. Today was a fun one. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.